Hey, it's the live music showcase from WMNF Community Radio in Tampa. I'm Bill Dudley. I'll be your host today on the show. We got one of my favorite bands on the show. Kind of one of my favorites because they're kind of old buddies of mine, and we're happy to have them on the show today. The 2 p.m. Band. Welcome, guys, back to WMNF. It's been a long time.
Thanks, Bill.
Yeah,
Thanks,
good
Bill.
to be here.
Let's start off with a song.
All right. Well, this is one called "Beautiful Day." One, two, 1, 2, 3. Salt grass waving in a gentle marsh breeze. A pileated pecker tapping on a palm tree. Otters on the move looking for a fish. Osprey keeping watch from a satellite dish. A kingfisher popping in and out of the creek. Smell the coffee perking, waking me up. Hear the pot gurgling and she brings me a cup. Morning coming up out on the preserve. St. Martin's Marsh, its own little world. All of God's creatures carrying on. So the morning begins. I'm sitting on the back porch and I'm drinking it in. Oh, just like a fine Cabernet. What a beautiful day. Air hangs heavy at the first morning light. It's time to get ready, I'm thinking I might try to take it easy, not push it too hard. What's wrong with mowing only half of the yard? It's not like any of my neighbors complain. So the morning begins. I'm sitting on the back porch and I'm drinking it in. Oh, just like a fine Cabernet. What a beautiful day. Ooh. Ooh. Shadows growing short as the morning goes long. A couple good lines, I can finish this song. One by one, cicadas in the trees, all tuning up and they're singing out of key. It's music to them and it's music to me. So the morning begins. Sitting on the back porch and I'm drinking it in. Oh, just like a fine Cabernet. What a beautiful day. Oh, like a poet will say. What a beautiful day.
Oh, you got them. They're here. They're live on the air here at WMNF in Tampa. The 2 p.m. Band. So why don't one of you, let's start with the guy on the left end. That would be Mike Jurgensen. Why don't you introduce the other members of the band and then just give us like 30 seconds of how this band got together. And
Okay.
so for people that might not have heard you when you were on last, which I think was like
A while back.
a long time ago. Yeah.
Well, to my immediate left is Pete Price from Ozello, Florida, and on the far screen right is Pete Hennings from Floral City, Florida, and I'm from Newport Richey.
All right.
And we've been together, about 14 years now, something like that.
Whiz.
Yeah, it's a long time.
I can't believe that.
Yeah, we've known each other probably for, 25 years or so, but we played separately and then together in various evolutions at coffee houses and gigs and so on. Pete and Pete were with John Sims and the Florida Friends, and they played a duet thing for a while. And Pete Price has played with Snow Rogers, I think, and a bunch of people. Pete Hennings plays bass with whoever hauls him up on stage. He plays all over the place.
That's a great job.
But
and you were in a band called Myriad.
I was,
for
yeah.
many years.
In the '90s, I was in Myriad, and Pete Hennings was our bass player for the last couple of years of Myriad. But a lot of memories.
Yeah. So Pete Price, Pete Hennings, and Mike Jurgensen. 2 p.m.
There you go.
That's where they got their name.
Seemed like a good idea.
And I'm very lucky myself to have been associated with these guys, helping them record some of their music.
All of our CDs.
It's really great.
You have recorded and done a marvelous job.
So you can check that out on what's the website? 2pmband.com. pmband.com. That's the website.
Correct.
So
we're on
check that
Facebook
out.
too.
Yeah. By the way, speaking of Facebook, we are streaming this show on Facebook. You can watch us live, which I suggest you do immediately. And just go to Facebook and type in LMS WMNF, and you will see our live TV broadcast of the show. Let's have another song.
Sure. This is a song that we co-wrote. It's called Cracker Girl, and it's kind of maybe an answer to...
It's a new song, right?
It is, fairly new. It's kind of an answer to Frank Thomas's Cracker Cowman song, so it's called Cracker Girl. Well, she sits beside the water and stares across the gulf. She thinks of all the years gone by when they never had enough. When her daddy fished for mullet and her mama patched their jeans, and daddy'd share his daily catch if the neighbors were in need. Well, at times she can be stubborn, fierce as a mother bear. Late at night she melts in tears when life catches up with her. She's devoted to her family and her blessed God above. They're the harbor she seeks refuge in and the vessel for her love. She's a cracker girl in a modern world. Seems like time has passed her by. Between shopping malls and interstates, sometimes she wants to cry. But her heart still holds the innocence from her life in a simpler world. With her faith in God and family, she's still just a cracker girl. Well, there's a 24-hour convenience store where her old frame house once stood. Her old playground groves a parking lot. The golf course was her woods. And the shoreline's jammed with condos now. It'll never be the same. But no one can take her memories. They're the one thing she can claim. She's a cracker girl in a modern world. Seems like time has passed her by. Between shopping malls and interstates, sometimes she wants to cry. But her heart still holds the innocence from her life in a simpler world. With her faith in God and family, she's still just a cracker girl. And the more they build, the more of her they slowly strip away. And it seems the world that she once knew grows smaller every day. But in her mind she still can't find the wonder and the grace of all she's lost at such a cost, so callously erased. She spends her time by the waterside, her precious Gulf of Mexico. And her mind drifts back to her younger years and the life she used to know. And a smile spreads slowly across her lips. She recalls those leaner days, 'cause her heart's so full of memories, growing up in the cracker ways. She's a cracker girl in a modern world. Seems like time has passed her by. Between shopping malls and interstates, sometimes she wants to cry. But her heart still holds the innocence from her life in a simpler world. With her faith in God and family, she's still just a cracker girl. And her heart still holds the innocence from her life in a simpler world. And she'll be passing down those memories to her own little cracker girl.
Nice job, you guys. That's a good
Thanks,
new song.
Thank you.
Yeah. 2 p.m. band, our guests on today's live music showcase here from WMNF. We'd like to acknowledge our wonderful live music crew here. We got a killer crew on this show. We've got Mark Perfetti doing the mixing, pushing those sliders up and down, getting it all mixed just exactly right for these guys. It sounds great. He's today assisted by John Francis Banker and Richard Stone, who also is responsible for our YouTube feed, which will be in production later on this evening or tomorrow. You'll be able to watch the show on YouTube. Right now you can watch it on Facebook, as I mentioned earlier. LMS WMNF is the key word. And on the TV end of things, Bob Hoke is our director. And on cameras today, we've got Ed Lehman, Marcy and Tom Connors. And in the control room, watching the levels, is Carlos Hernandez, keeping track of things, making sure we get on the air.
Quite a production.
Yeah, Randy Wynn does the scheduling for this show. He's the one that comes up with the bands, and I didn't even know you guys were going to be on until I saw it on the schedule. I said, hey, I know those guys.
Surprise!
Yeah, so anyway, we're happy to have you on the show today.
Well, thanks.
So 2 p.m. started off 14 years ago. How have you evolved over the years, other than get to know each other?
I think we're doing more original tunes now. When we first started out, you know, Mike or Pete or myself would have had a few songs in the bag that we kind of brought to the band, but we also did, I think, probably 60-40 covers to originals, and it's evolved now to where we're doing probably about 75% originals. And we're co-writing a lot more songs too.
How do you do that? Does somebody come up with an idea, and how do you work that out?
That's kind of typically how it happens. A couple of times, like I at one point had a melody and a progression that I liked, but didn't know where to take it, and kind of tossed it out to these guys, and you know, eventually we settled on, you know, what the hook was going to be and what it was going to be about. And we've also done it where I've sat down and written a verse, or Mike has written a verse, and then it just seems easy. We'll toss it out there and see if these other guys can help me finish this thing up. So it's really been it's kind of fun.
Run up the flagpole, see if anybody salutes.
Yeah. It's a lot of fun. It's been a great challenge. We've been really enjoying the process.
Oh, that's great. Well, let's have another song.
Okay.
Well, this one isn't one of ours. This is written by John Randall and Bill Anderson. It's one we've just recently started doing, and we enjoy it a lot.
Bill Anderson of country music fame.
Well, not whispering Bill Anderson, but
another guy.
another Bill Anderson.
He always has to clarify that.
Imagine that, somebody else named Bill Anderson. But anyway, this song is called Whiskey Lullaby. Are we ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. La 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 la. 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 She put him out like the burning end of a midnight cigarette. She broke his heart, and he spent his whole life trying to forget. We watched him drink his pain away, a little at a time, but he never could get drunk enough to get her off his mind until the night he put that bottle to his head and pulled the trigger. He finally drank away her memory. Life is short, but this time it was bigger than the strength he had to get up off his knees. They found him with his face down in the pillow, with a note that said, "I'll love her till I die." And when we buried him beneath the willow, the angels sang a whiskey lullaby. La 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la. And the rumors flew when nobody knew how much she blamed herself for years and years. She tried to hide the whiskey on her breath. She finally drank her pain away a little at a time, but she never could get drunk enough to get him off her mind until the night she put that bottle to her head and pulled the trigger. She finally drank away his memory. Life is short, but this time it was bigger than the strength she had to get up off her knees. They found her with her face down in the pillow, clinging to his picture for dear life. We laid her next to him beneath the willow, while the angels sang a whiskey lullaby. La 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la.
Music from 2 p.m. Our guests on today's live music showcase here from WMNF. If you just tuned in, 2 p.m. Great trio, 2 Petes and a Mike, and that's how they got their name. Pete Price, Pete Hennings, and Mike Jurgensen, all strumming and singing for you today live on the air here. Hey, we'd like to thank everybody who called us last week. We went over our goal, so thanks to everybody who called, and thanks to everybody who pledged on Facebook, and it was great. This is the first time this happened in a long time, so we're really excited about that. If you weren't one of the people who called us last week to help support WMNF and the Live Music Showcase, you can still do it. We've got a little bit of a shortfall we came up with, a few dollars short, so it's not too late. Give us a call here at the radio station, 813-238-8001, or go online to the tip jar, WMNF.org, and say it's for the Live Music Showcase. Yeah. So that was a happy little song.
Yeah, little
We like to mix it
double
up.
suicide, alcoholism, a little something for
Kind of a
everybody there.
temperance song.
Well, we do Beautiful Day, and then this kind of evens things out.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah, okay. So one of the things you guys do so well is your 3-part harmony. Is that hard to work that out? I guess you've been doing it a few years, so it's
we kind of fall into it now. I mean, we've been doing it for so long together.
Yeah.
But,
Well, we do take the time to really work it out. I mean, we'll just cut out all the instruments and just go maybe one guitar with single strum, and then we'll sing through the lines until we get the lines right. It's so we do spend some time on it, and sometimes some of them are harder than others, but I usually have the hardest time. But these guys
not
can.
true, not true.
Well, we got a call from one of our listeners, Dan, who says, "Glad I tuned in today. This is what makes WMNF great."
It does.
A bit
Thank you, Dan.
Thanks,
reminiscent
Dan.
of the
We appreciate
Ashley
that.
gang. They started after you guys did, I think, though.
Well, they've been around for a long
they've been-
time.
They were
Yeah, I think
contemporaneous.
they were
Yeah,
before
yeah.
us, actually.
Really?
I'm pretty sure.
I think
yeah.
they were,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah,
they're a
were.
really good band.
Yeah, they are.
So he's worried that we started at 2:06, a little bit late
that's-
for the 2 p.m. band.
Well, if you wait any minute past 2 p.m., you're too late for the 2 p.m. band. So.
That threw us off a little bit, so that's
Yeah, there's actually a Korean boy band called 2 p.m. as well, which was really disappointing to hear when we figured that out. Who would have thought, But,
Well, if you get a cryptic message sometime
yeah,
from
we
their
do.
lawyer,
we do. Well, not from lawyers, but
Not yet.
not yet.
yeah. If you Google 2 p.m., most likely you'll come up with the Korean guys.
oh no,
Yeah, because
well,
they've got a lot of people.
Is that why you spell yours Arabic
Yeah,
number 2 and then
Yeah.
p.m.?
That's right, exactly.
No, they do the same, but we add the word band,
Band, yeah.
to the end. Like on our website, it's 2pmband.com.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
2pmband.com.
But yeah, that was a shock.
Something we hadn't considered.
No, you don't expect that.
There's
to
a
happen.
whole story behind the Korean 2 p.m. band too. You ought to Google it, and they've got a whole YouTube thing that.
Do they
talks
sing
about
in
it.
harmony?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're a lot
probably.
more kind of.
They're pop.
Yeah, they're pop. They're
Yeah.
a lot younger than we are. So. I don't
That's
think we
kind of
could
a
pull
given.
off their songs, but
Okay, they probably jump around a lot.
they do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Much
Our
more
jumping days are over.
Well,
They're
I don't
behind
know
us.
about that. You guys are still pretty spry.
For our age. Yeah.
Hey, let's have another song.
All right. Well, this is a song that I wrote as a kind of a tribute to one of the last remaining stilt camps that sits off of Newport Richey out in the Gulf of Mexico.
Is that when you see that from north of Newport Richey? You see all those things out there?
Right. There are about 7 or 8 of them, I think, that are still standing out there, just about maybe a mile offshore, out the mouth of the Pithla-Chascody River. So this is
that's good for you to say. That.
So this is specifically for some friends of ours who own one of those stilt camps, and it is actually addressed. It's number 3, so it's Stilt Camp number 3. Each one has his own physical address. So this is called Stilt Camp number 3. 1, 2, 3, 4.
When life's troubles burden me, I take a boat out on the sea, to a sheltered place I know, to a house on stilts is where I go. It has stood for years through wind and storm. From winter's chill it has kept me warm. In summer months filled with memories, it's my home, my Stilt Camp number 3. Oh, you house on stilts standing out at sea, oh, please won't you carry me far away from the troubled land? Won't you soothe me in your sheltering hand? I remember days when as a child made me feel so free and wild, and precious time with my family, and now my own kids come with me to this magic kingdom far from shore, where time stands still, where less is more. Saltwater treasures here we find, but I treasure most this family time. Oh, you house on stilts standing out at sea, oh, please won't you carry me
far away from the troubled land. Won't you soothe me in your sheltering hand? Laughter and joy fill up our days. We fish and swim, we eat and play, until night comes with setting sun and a brilliant show when day is done. A million stars in a moonlit sky, the water fires as the fish swim by, the shrimper's lights on a sparkling sea, and a peaceful calm comes over me. Should you be torn by gale force wind, we'll surely build you back again. And even stronger than before will be the bond we feel with you once more. So when life's struggles get me down, I hop a boat and get out of town. I find my haven here, you see, on the Gulf at Stilt Camp number 3. Oh, you house on Stilt standing out at sea, oh, please won't you carry me far away from the troubled land? Won't you soothe me in your sheltering hand? It's almost heaven here, you see, on the Gulf at Stilt Camp number 3.
Great music from 2 p.m., the 2 p.m. band on the Live Music Showcase from WMNF. Watch us on Facebook, LMS WMNF. You can react to us, like us, have some of those little blue hearts floating around there.
They don't have dislike buttons, thankfully.
Oh, well.
Well, they got angry buttons. Hopefully we don't get any angry buttons out.
Or the little pile of poop or
Oh,
something.
yeah.
You could do that.
No, just hearts, please.
Or
Hearts.
put an artichoke or an eggplant. But doesn't that mean something too? I don't know. I'm not up with all that stuff.
I'm not sure about that.
Anyway, 2 p.m. Band is our guest on today's show. We'd also like to acknowledge our great Live Music Showcase crew.
Yes.
We've got Carlos Hernandez passing me notes from the control room. If you want to get in touch with Carlos, react to our show in any way. They're giving me a note right now. Hang on, people. Here. Okay. Ross says, it sounds great, but where he's listening, it's 11 a.m.
Uh-oh.
Ross is in Portland.
He needs to
All right.
spring forward a few hours.
All right.
So anyway, we got Carlos taking care of that. If you want to call us or react to the show in any way, you can do so on our request line, Air Studio line, 813-239-WMNF, 239-9663, or DJ at WMNF.org. So having a good time with these guys. They're a great band. Oh, I was going to run down the credits here. Bob Hoke is our director of the TV portion of the show. And we've got Marcy and Tom Connors and Ed Lehman on the guitars, right? On the cameras.
Come on over and play a tune here.
Yeah. Mark Perfetti mixing it up today, assisted by John Francis Banker and Richard Stone. And Richard also is our Dr. Stone is also our YouTube coordinator. You can watch the show on YouTube starting tonight or tomorrow morning,
Awesome.
along with a whole bunch of other great shows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looking forward to checking that out.
Yeah, let's have another song. Now I've done all this talking. We don't want to have any more talking.
Well, this is a song that I wrote about 3 years ago, right? Actually, as we were winding up the last CD, I guess I wrote this.
Yeah.
And it was just too new to put on the last CD, so we've been performing it. But it was Veterans Day, and I was reading the news online, and I ended up on NPR and found an article by a woman in a short documentary that she'd put together about her dad, who was a Vietnam vet and suffers from PTSD. And so I watched the documentary several times, and it just got under my skin. It really hit home. My dad was a 30-year Army colonel. He served in World War II, Korea, and Vietnam.
Wow.
My brother was in the Army. I was a naval officer in submarines. All of my uncles on my mother's side were Army, Marine Corps, Navy. So it was something that just got under my skin, and I just couldn't get it out of my head. And I knew there was a song in it, but my fear was that in 1968 I was 10 years old, so I didn't think that I was the one to tell the story. But I realized watching this documentary, these four guys were telling me the story. This was this woman's dad and 3 of his platoon mates that went through a particularly bad day, a bad battle over there in August of 1968. So the song really comes out of the documentary, with the exception of the very beginning, which is a tip of the hat to my dad. When I was a kid, my dad was a smoker back in those days, and he carried around a Zippo lighter with a big red 1 on it from the 1st Infantry
There's
Division.
nothing that sounds like flipping the cap on a Zippo lighter.
That's right. That's
It's
right.
a totally unique sound.
Yeah.
My
yeah.
dad had one too.
Yeah. So the Zippo lighter with the big red 1 is a tip of the hat to my dad. But this song is called "I'll Go Back Tonight." Tinted beat up Zippo engraved with a big red 1. It's lit a mile of camels, why not light another one? The axe simple triggered to a place from long ago, with memories and nightmares only guys like me would know. Some called it Southeast Asia, some called it Vietnam. To us we were in country and we could not give a damn about much except to make it through this day and then another. Keep a close eye on yourself and keep the other on your brother. You asked me when I was in Nam, well I was there this morning, and I wound up there this afternoon, no heads up and no warning. And just before you asked, I was in that firefight. I've been here and there since '68, and I'll go back tonight. I've got a faded black and white I keep here on my desk. Most people pick it up as if it were some kind of test, and I watch them peeling back the years to recognize my face. But I only see the men whose faces never got to age. Now in the old days it was shell shock, then battle fatigue. Now a simple acronym, it's all the same to me. You see, whatever name you call it, there's a wound deep in my soul. Well, you can medicate and you can compensate, but you can never make me whole. You asked me when I was in Nam, well I was there this morning, and I wound up there this afternoon, no heads up and no warning. And just before you asked, I was in that firefight. I've been here and there since '68, and I'll go back tonight. As I gaze into that picture, I can't help wondering why I was the only one that day to make it back alive. And yet I'm still there with them, held captive in this trap. My brothers never made it home, I keep going back. You asked me when I was in Nam, well I was there this morning. I wound up there this afternoon, no heads up and no warning. And just before you asked, I was in that firefight. I've been here and there since '68, and I'll go back tonight. You asked me when I was in Nam, I was there this morning. I wound up there this afternoon, no heads up and no warning. And just before you asked, I was in that firefight. I've been here and there since '68, and I'll go back tonight. I'll go back tonight.
Whoa. What a great song.
Thank you. Thank you.
Wow, that's Pete Price.
Yeah, that's a powerful song.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah.
Pete Price, the song that he wrote. What is the name of the song?
I'll go back tonight.
I'll Go Back Tonight.
Yeah, yeah.
Great. 2 p.m. band. You're hearing them live here on WMNF Community Radio 88.5 in Tampa and WMNF.org around the world. You can watch our show anytime you want on Facebook during the show. And you can watch it after this on YouTube starting this evening, tomorrow morning. In fact, I think it kind of lingers on Facebook for a while.
Oh.
You can probably watch it later
all
on
right.
this afternoon if you want to.
Good.
It sort of hangs around
Kind
there.
of lingers, huh?
Yeah, it lingers for a while. I don't
As
know
long
how.
as it doesn't loiter, you know.
Well, I don't know. Facebook changes every couple of days, so you never know.
Yes, it's true.
You never know what they're going to be doing next. But 2 p.m. are our guests on today's live music showcase from WMNF. So when you write a song like that, who are you singing it to? People that don't know what
Well,
Vietnam was, or I mean, there's a lot of people born since then.
Yeah. I mean, there's, I get a lot of response from that song, and invariably people will come up and say, "Oh, my brother, my husband, my dad," or everybody seems to be connected to that song in one way or another. I even had a woman come up to me one time and said, "Oh, that song really touches me. I was in a really bad car accident," and I hadn't really thought of it that way. PTSD touches a lot of people in a lot of different ways, and so she connected to that. This recurring, I'll go back, I'll re-experience that.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, it just is always surprising to me. Well, shouldn't be, but how many people are touched by that war and affected by that, even to this day.
Yeah. It doesn't seem like that many people actually were killed there, but it's had such a tremendous effect on our country because it was.
Yeah.
It sort of influenced the whole last half of the 1960s
Sure.
and the early 70s.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wow, amazing. Great song, Pete Price.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I had a lot of help from that, the documentary, those guys.
Yeah, it's a powerful documentary.
Yeah,
You can
really
find
is.
it on YouTube.
What's
Yeah.
the name of it?
The name of the documentary is "I Will Go Back Tonight." So the song just sings better with "I'll Go Back Tonight." But if you type in "I'll Go Back Tonight" or "I Will Go Back Tonight," you'll get both of those. The documentary and a video of us doing that song. Unfortunately, Pete wasn't with us, so it's not the the definitive version of that song.
You will be recording the definitive
That's
version
right.
of
Let's do it. Let's do it.
But yeah, you'll get both of those as the first two hits if you type in.
Well, we got about another 17 or 18 minutes. Let's try to squeeze in as much music as we
Okay.
can
We're
because
good with that.
I just love these guys and
We love you
obviously,
too, Bill.
obviously. So yeah, let's have another song.
Okay. Well, this one is a tribute to the festivals that we play around the state and the late night jams that go on until the wee hours of the morning and are often the very best part of the festival when you get a chance to swap tunes with your friends who you only see a few times a year at these weekend
What's the next thing you're going to be at where people can come?
We'll
and
be
hear
at
you?
Barberville the first weekend in November.
Okay.
We'll be at Yalaha Bakery this Sunday, as a matter of fact,
That's
up in the middle of the country there, in the middle of the state.
Near Leesburg,
near
Mount Dora.
Eustis.
They can find out about that at
2pmband.com.
2pmband.com.
Yeah, we'll be
So
we'll be in Common Grounds, which is down in Northport. We'll be there in just 19th, and then the Sunday Sampler up in Dunellen on November 10th, and in Melrose doing something on the 14th. So we're kind of getting around. We're trying to get around the state, and
Great.
if anybody has gigs that they want to let us know about, we're always open to them.
Yeah.
We'd love to fill them for you.
That's right, we will.
Don't have any bar mitzvah songs, but you could learn
Not
one.
yet. We could work on that.
We can learn them.
So anyway, this is a song called "Let's Just Play One More." 1, 2, 3, 4.
A line of clouds is drifting slowly across the moon tonight. Familiar faces flickering in the fading firelight. There's something about this evening, and you know it just feels right. It feels like home to me. Stars are barely peeking through the live oak canopy, and the leaves are rustling softly in a cool March evening breeze. We've been swapping songs all night, and you know it's almost 3, and I should get some sleep. But the music is so fine, and there's so much left to say. I just can't seem to find the will to pull myself away. I got a set in 7 hours and one later on today. Maybe I'll just play one more, 'cause that's what this night is for.
times are so special that I get to spend with you. These festivals that we all play are such a precious few. So dig another old song out and then I'll play one too. It might be dawn before we're through. The daily schedule's set in stone, we go our separate ways. So many stages to choose from in only 3 short days. But when the sound men all close down, we'll have our own main stage. When the campfires start to blaze. 'Cause the music is so fine and there's so much left to say. I just can't seem to find the will to pull myself away. I got a set in 7 hours and one later on today. Maybe I'll just play one more. 'Cause that's what this night is for. When this campground comes alive, something to behold. A symphony of instruments and voices fills your soul. There's music everywhere, feels like magic in the air, takes control. So let's spend this time together, we'll play our favorite songs. And as our friends come gather round, then we'll all sing along. 'Cause when this night is over, then the memories linger on. That's what we came here for. So let's just play one more.
Let's just play one more.
'Cause that's what this night is for.
Let's just play one more.
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 That's Mike Jurgensen on the lead vocal there, a song that he wrote.
It's actually the title cut of our second CD.
Yeah. Mike Jurgensen with Pete Hennings and Pete Price. They call themselves 2PM. The 2PM Band, 2pmband.com, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I see it right here. Okay, good. Yeah, that's how you can find out where they're going to be performing and a little bit of the story of the band. Here's some cuts and stuff like that. You can listen to our show here, the Live Music Showcase, anytime you want on YouTube. All of our past shows are there. You can watch them. You can listen to our show at WMNF.org on the archive if you just want to hear the audio part of the show. You can do that on the archives or on our WMNF app. And once again, if you didn't get a chance to call last week and contribute to live music and WMNF Community Radio, you can still do so. Call us right now if you want to, if you didn't get a chance to last week. Just give us a call at 813-238-8001. Talk to Miss Julie. Or go to WMNF.org, and the tip jar lies in wait for you right there. I got nothing else to say. Let's have another song.
All right.
Okay.
Well, this is another one that I wrote kind of recently, and sometimes songs just come out of nowhere. I don't know where this came from. It's not autobiographical.
Definitely not.
It's just
Make sure you clarify that, just in case there's something in the song that people
know
might get
where
the
this-
wrong idea.
That's right. Don't know where this came from. And just anyway, the song's called "Empty Heart."
Yeah, the first time we heard it, we said, "Are you okay, Pete? Everything all right at home?"
Is everything okay? My wife actually said she likes this song. So
Well, she knows you, so she knows it's not
all
autobiographical.
right. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, I'm sitting here, I'm just breathing air, and I'm wondering where you are now. And it's a shame when I call your name, all I hear is the same only sound of an empty heart in an empty room, in an empty house, like an empty tomb where love has gone to die. There was a time when
when you were mine, when I dreamed I'd feel your embrace. But come the dawn, again you're gone, and emptiness just fills this space. I'm an empty heart in an empty room, in an empty house, like an empty tomb, where love has gone to die. Your memory lives here like a ghost, throwing shadows down the hall. Sometimes it creeps upon me, I feel your lips upon me, I hear the whisper of your call. Now and then I remember when I held the world right in my hands. But don't you know, I just let it go. Can I ever feel that way again? I'm just an empty heart in an empty room, in an empty house, like an empty tomb, where love has gone to die. I'm just an empty heart in an empty room, in an empty house, like an empty tomb, where love has gone to die.
Good job there, Pete Price
Thank
on the
you.
guitar and bass. Good guitar work on that, you guys.
Thank you.
We have to take a short break now because Mike is
Okay.
got a lot of wiring to do
I'm
here.
not accustomed to the.
He's putting on his little harmonica thing, and you know, if you've ever seen anybody do this, it's pretty. It's a pretty jury rigged kind of gizmo. This
Don't
thing.
try
I know
this
people have
if
been
you're
using it
not-
for years and years, but still, I always
Don't
wonder
try
how they
Somebody's got to
actually.
come up with something better, huh?
It seems like they should, but the whole
least
thing
for
is
me.
you play the guitar and play the harmonic at the same time, and this is I don't know
Barely.
when they came up with this idea, but
Yeah.
many years ago. But it's quite a contraption. So let us know when you're stable here.
Well, that may take a while.
May take a little while.
Talk to me in a few years, and I'll.
2 p.m. band. They're our guests on today's live music showcase from
Okay,
WMNF.
I think we're ready for this.
All right. What's this
As
going
ready
to
as
be?
we'll be. This is a song called Lonesome Road, and it's one like Pete said. In this case, he came up with a chord progression and then a melody, and didn't quite know where to take it, so we kind of took it there.
You took it on the road.
This
Took it
is-
down
this
the
is where we
Lonesome
took
Road.
it, yeah.
We took it down the Lonesome Road.
Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, the daily miles just tend to drag me down, and the morning finds me blue. And at night I find I've only come unwound as my thoughts return to you. But the days drag on so slowly every time I go away, and the driving down this lonely road gets harder every day. This lonesome road, and you're always on my mind. Oh, this lonesome road. One black coffee in a motel paper cup, while the morning anchor's drawn. Guess I'll wait to call, I'd hate to wake you up, so I'm off out on the road. As the morning sun is rising, warm light filters through the trees. I see your auburn hair streaming down, you're reaching out to me. This lonesome road, and you're always on my mind. Oh, this lonesome road. And every town is different, everyone's the same. Highways change, but each comes to an end. As I faithfully retrace my steps back from where I came, my heart keeps pounding in my chest. It's more than I can bear. It's like gravity that pulls me back. I know you're waiting there. Counting down the exit signs, at last I'm home. I can finally take my rest. In our bed tonight, I won't sleep alone. Breath is soft upon my chest, but the wheels keep turning in my head. They just keep spinning round, and the highway's calling once again. I'll soon be heading down this lonesome road. This lonesome road, and it's always on my mind. Oh, this lonesome road, yeah, this lonesome road, and you're always on my mind. Oh, this lonesome road. Mm-hmm.
Nice song from the 2 p.m. band, our guests on today's live music showcase. Guys, we got time for one more song. We can fade out on that, and folks on Facebook will get to hear the whole thing.
What would that be?
But yeah, just pick one of the ones.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I don't want to put a harmonica in all that.
Okay.
2 p.m. band, our guest on today's show from WMNF in Tampa.
No, all right,
Yeah.
all right. All right, well, this is a good one to
Have a
fade out
consensus? Has a consensus been reached?
This is our rock anthem, so to speak.
Well, Guy, thanks for being on the show today.
Hey, thanks so much for having us. We really appreciate this, Bill. You're awesome, and thank you so much to the crew. You guys are fantastic. The sound was great here. We could hear every single thing. So
Yeah, thank you so much.
we really appreciate you guys.
Thanks to Mark,
And thanks
John
WMNF.
Francis, Richard, Marcy and Tom, Ed, Bob, and Carlos. For
Support
helping us do the show.
WMNF.
All right, well, this song is called No One to Blame. It's about a guy that looks around in his life and says, you know, things didn't turn out the way I planned, only to realize he never had a plan. So here you go. Life ain't panned out like I planned it. Then again, maybe it has. 'Cause I've been shifting like the wind and drifting like the sand. I took more than my fair share of chances.
More than my fair share of chances.
Full speed ahead when I should have stopped. And I knew that deck was stacked against me, but I drew my cards right off the top. I've been walking the dog and waking the dead. I'm talking to God. I take what he says with a gun, but it's not my fault. But you know I've got nobody I can blame. You know I've got nobody I can blame. Never put much faith in those around me.
So I struck out on my own, and like a man up on a wire, I take my chances all alone. Sure, there've been times that I have fallen.
There've been times when I have fallen.
It's a whole lot harder without a net. It turns out the moral and the righteous, I wouldn't trust them on a bet. And I've been riding the rails and reading the times. I'm chasing my tail, just choosing the lines that I want to cross. And I've been passing the time, pissing the wind. I'm feeling just fine, I'm falling again. A temporary loss, but you know I've got no